All right, hello everybody. The Growth Marketers team, our OneIMS team, is here live at the final day of the HubSpot Inbound Digital Marketing Conference. And so we want to do something a little bit unique for you guys and give you kind of a live update, a recap of what we're learning from this conference, this 3-day conference that we've been at here in Boston. So Sam, what are the biggest takeaways that you've found from this conference?
Yeah, I think regardless of the strategy, tactic, I mean, we're here at a marketing conference. There's thousands of marketing technology platforms out there available. There's thousands of attendees here. At the end of the day, you have to go back to the roots, right? What is the foundation of everything that we do, which is customer. So putting the customer at the center of everything that you do should be the priority from a marketing standpoint. I think we can get caught up in the new strategy, new channels, new tactics, whatever else you can think of, right? So whatever the shiny object in the marketing space, we tend to get all excited about that. But we have to remember customer is at the center of it. Whatever you do, regardless of your industry, your product offering, service offering, make sure you're focused on the customer and solve for the customer.
Yeah.
That would be what I say was number one priority.
Absolutely, and it's always been a key principle of marketing and of businesses, and something that we've been preaching for a long time, being customer-centric with everything you do, not just in your marketing, but within your business. And that was definitely a big overarching theme here that all the presenters talked about with it at Inbound, and then particularly the HubSpot employees and the direction of the company that the team was preaching. So I definitely agree, and as you mentioned, tactics, individual campaign strategies, channels are going to change. Last Inbound, maybe we weren't talking about TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, but things are going to change. But what doesn't change is how you approach your marketing in terms of putting your customers first, making that buyer-centric, making the best impossible inbound buying experience. I think if you take that approach and that mindset, at the end of the day, you'll find the right solution.
Yeah, I think just make that your goal. Like, how can I solve the customer's pain point? Can I think of the entire customer journey from start to finish? Am I providing them value and support, or am I creating friction in that customer journey? And how can I remove the friction from the beginning of their learning and understanding in the awareness stage of the customer journey all the way down to when they make that purchase or even consume the product or service that they purchased.
Sure. So yeah, I agree with that takeaway. What's your second takeaway?
I think the second takeaway is, as I mentioned earlier, there's so much technology and channels that are available for marketing, which brings a ton of content. I mean, it's a ton of data, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about data points for every customer interactions and engagements, which is, back in the day, we did not have the access to the data of what are our customers doing, where are they going for information, where are they, interacting with our brand. That information or that data was not available to us. Now more than ever, we have so much data, right? So salespeople are mini marketers. They're on LinkedIn having conversations, sending messages. They're doing email sequences, making phone calls, leaving voicemails, right? And then also sending SMS messages. There's a lot of LinkedIn activities, right, in terms of direct messaging, all of those things. And then on top of that, the marketing team is actively working on marketing campaigns. We could be target account ABM strategy. It could be more of an inbound, broad marketing strategy. There's website visitors, social platforms. You can name it. There's so much data being collected, but it's not about the proliferation of data, but it's more so what do you make of that data, right?
Yeah.
How do you use the data that you have available and make insightful and informed decisions for your company?
Yeah, and you could probably see that just by walking around the exhibition floor here with, the companies that are presenting, or that are sponsoring rather, Google, Amazon, Chase Bank is here. Data, these big companies that have always been focusing on data are starting to recognize that there's a lot of need to work with these small to medium-sized businesses, and I completely agree with you. When we heard the keynote session from Yamini, who's the CEO of HubSpot, she said the same thing: is be the first to implement first-party data at your organization. Right? I think we've heard a lot from presenters from people like Google that are talking about the changes in privacy and cooking and the way that we as consumers want our privacy and what we expect from brands. So control your own data is going to be a key to success for marketers in the future.
Yeah, and I think with the data, if you have informed decisions, right? If you can make informed decisions on where your market is, what kind of messaging your audience are engaging with the most, and what platforms are providing the best engagement or conversions in sales, then you can accordingly invest into that. So attribution is still going to be very difficult with all the privacy regulations and requirements, but you still have to figure out the best way to collect all this data, consolidate it in one place, and then be able to get it, the insights that you need to make business decisions.
Absolutely. So what's a final takeaway on our final day here in Boston at Inbound 22?
I think this sales and marketing alignment has never been more important than ever today, right? Because for years and years we've been talking about why marketing department is doing a bunch of things on their own and sales department does their own thing. But if you can think of the biggest opportunity for organizations that we have today is with how do you consolidate, organization? Not consolidate. How do you integrate all of them, right?
Yeah.
Sales, marketing, and customer success. How do you bring them all together and provide them the tools, the training, and the technology that they need to make that entire revenue generation, revenue production, and also revenue expansion more efficient? So the marketing operation, the revenue operation is the buzzword of the day. And also it is the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity I would say businesses have. Whether you know it or not, you are doing revenue operation. If you're creating revenue, if you're generating revenue, you're doing some sort of a revenue operation. The question is whether or not you're doing it correctly.
Yeah. And that's been something we've been focusing on for a number of years, and to be honest, trying to figure out as well as like what exactly does revenue operations mean for us at our organization, for our clients. How can we help them? Because we always talk about sales and marketing alignment, and I guess historically it's just been more of a cultural conversation. How do we make sure that we're passing off the right leads, that we understand what the inbound marketing process is, that we as marketers are listening to what the salespeople are giving us in terms of feedback and what pain points their customers are having and putting that into the marketing messaging. And while that's all true, as you mentioned, the more sophisticated we get with our data, with multiple channels, with our marketing campaigns and marketing strategies, the bigger the need is going to be and the desire from internal growing marketing departments for marketing operations help, revenue operations help. And this is something that we see all the time in sales, right? Because we know organizations were faster to adopt sales tools, sales technology, sales training, large, Salesforce organizations. And so a lot of companies have Salesforce administrator, someone like that on staff, or they're contracting with the company. And we're seeing a bigger and bigger need as marketers again get more sophisticated for somebody to streamline all the operations on the marketing side, and then also, as you mentioned, connect the dots, connect the departments for everything resulting in revenue, which is not just sales, it's marketing, sales, customer success. It's again that entire customer journey and beyond.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the first point, which is how do you put the customer at the center of it all, right? And then solving for the customer. So regardless of where they might be in the buying journey, we want to make sure that the marketing is doing a great job, and then that data and optimization of the marketing process and technology, as well as the salespeople and what they're doing. And then at the end of the day, how is the customer success team is actually servicing that customer, right? And then figuring out what kind of issues that they may have so they can improve the marketing messaging or improve the sales process. And at the end of the day, serve the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you weren't fortunate enough to attend any of these sessions online or be here in person, hopefully you got some insights that we were able to share with you. So that's a wrap on Inbound Marketing, or Inbound 2022.